I don't care. The dumbest. Why are we taking off our masks?
Exactly. Why? Do you know that is the reason that Queen Latifah now has it written in her contracts that she can't die anymore?
Who? I put that deep voice on so they can't. Oh, Berkey. Oh, Berkey. Like, what are we talking about?
They talk about who are some of the greatest rappers turned actors. If we're talking rappers turned actors, it'd be Will Smith, Queen Latifah. So as the film is, would you have changed anything, or was it?
The only thing I would have changed is.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me again. It's TeaRon. That's TeaRon period. And today we're going to be doing something special. The special thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be throwing it back. Wait a minute.
Wait.
I shouldn't have said that. What I mean to say is we are going to be featuring classic Black films. And so I'm going to take you on this journey with me to revisit some of the films in Black culture, right? Maybe we'll sometimes get into some things across the diaspora, but some things that we feel like you got to watch this. If you Black and you haven't seen Friday, come on, right? So don't worry, we got you. So me being the 90s baby, the millennial that I am, I decided to enlist some help with this, okay? And I want to pull you in with me. We'll get to this in a second, but I'm going to pull in with me a guy that, if you've seen him on the train, you'd be like, hey, man, what you got on my 40? Ladies and gentlemen, BK. BK, are you there?
Ooh, alive and well.
BK, do you know what the line, what you got on my 40 is from?
Oh, no, I do not.
And that, my friends, is why we are going to be diving into classic films. Here we go. Let's have some fun now, okay?
I bet. Let's have some fun there.
Yeah, let's have some fun because I don't want to stay there, but we're gonna brighten this thing up. There's some sad moments in this film that we're gonna be talking about, but it's still gonna be a good time because we are going to be introducing a new segment here. Okay, today we're gonna focus solely on that, but in the future, we want you all to be prepared, and maybe we'll come up with like a list where you all can watch along with it. I don't know. We'll figure it out, BK. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
But without further ado, I'm excited. I want to take a break here, and I want to turn over everything to you because you and I, as much as we get along, we are, well, not very different, kind of different people, only based on generation.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of films that you have not yet seen in Black culture, and I've seen them all, I think. Most of them I've seen. The ones that I need to see, I've seen. Right. So we don't want to revoke your Black card. We just want to, look over the application.
You know what I'm saying? Mine is under review. I understand. Rightfully so. I ain't mad.
But we're gonna be working
down at it.
You're gonna be all right, though. You're gonna be all right.
It's back.
All jokes, y'all. All jokes. BK is very Black. But anyway, we want to introduce to you all a list of films that take you on a journey back in time to when things were better, life was sweeter, gas was cheaper, and robbing a bank and cashing out with $20,000, $30,000, $75,000 a piece was a big deal, especially when it was the early 90s.
Yeah, that was a lot back today.
I'm telling you, we're going to be talking about none other than one of the better bank heist films, in my opinion. Set It Off. But we're going to be doing that under the guise of BK's Blacklist. BK, it's on you now, brother. Talk to us.
So just to give a little background before we get into it. The Blacklist is a list of films that I created, that I've generated from different people, like family, friends, anybody that I know or feel has grown up with a lot of has definitely grown up with a lot of Black films. Yeah, put me on so I can just add it to the list and I'll check it out. Because I grew up in suburbia. I had a decent amount of Black films in my life, but there's way too many missing pieces. There's way too many missing pieces. So I want to fill in those gaps. And by going through all of the films that everybody else has gotten to watch as they were growing up and coming up in life. Now, as my brain is already, starting to fully develop and I'm really understanding the themes and everything that's going on. Cause like, it's one thing to watch this stuff as a kid, but I'm really glad that I'm able to sit down and watch this stuff for the first time now, because with the way my mind works, it's like now I'm seeing things from a totally different point of view than how some of my parents or some of my family members used to enjoy these films, So
yeah.
What I'll do is I'll usually, and just to give each movie a little bit of leg room when it comes to these ratings, I'll rate it 1 out of 10, but it goes like, I have like points after, like I have like if a movie is like 6 out of 10, I'll give it like maybe like 6 point, I can go like 6.2, 6.9, 6.7, or it's like 8.7, 8.3, just to give it a little more leg room with the rating system, because I didn't want to just rate it like 6 out of 10, keep it pushing. And it feels, because there's more to it. There's more to it than just it's just good. Like it's the music, it's who's playing in the film, it's the themes, it's the messages, it's the production of it all, the scale of the plot. Like everything plays a little. All of these little pieces play a part in the overall value of the film. So when it came to Set It Off, found it. So when it came to Set It Off,
Wait, before you start, I want to say one of the things that I'm excited about with this segment, with you venturing into past films, is I am excited to go into the different perspectives, because like you said, when you watch something as an adult, it hits different.
Right.
And I do have that perspective, but I'm starting to look back at some of these things that I've seen, and I'm like, I wasn't even old enough to be watching that. Why? So I'm excited to have our different perspectives come into play. But go ahead, set it off. Let's get into it.
So for Set It Off, I gave it a straight 9 out of 10. I liked it. I really enjoyed the film. It honestly, because not too many films have actually reached a 9 out of 10 on this list for me.
Which they shouldn't, because if we're being real. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, some of them do be kind of like...
Most things shouldn't even be high.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you good. But for Set It Off, I really did enjoy it. Like I did. For one, it was the fact that it was just reoccurring actors that I've seen from other films. It's like Vivica Fox. I was actually like, I completely forgot that she was actually in this film. Because I had seen a whole bunch of like little clips back in the day, but I never pieced together that was her. Because like the first time I ever seen Vivica Fox in anything was Kill Bill, and that was short. So watching it through for the first time, because I watched it with my girlfriend, and I knew I was in for something because she knows about the list and she knows that I'm trying to go tackle all of these films. And so when I said, yeah, let's watch Set It Off, she's like, are you sure? I'm like, Set It Off? What's so bad about Set It Off? I'm like, come on, it can't be that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I have freaking, I got all types of other films that I know would genuinely piss me off.
Oh Lord.
And so I'm thinking that Set It Off, it couldn't possibly be that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I got films on here like The Great Debaters or Menace to Society. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole bunch of what's so bad about Set It Off? I'm underestimating it in my mind. I'm like, there's no way it could be that bad. It was genuinely that bad. Oh my God.
You said Set It Off was that bad?
No. Like, I mean, like, in terms of like how it hit you. In terms of like it hit you. No. It can't be bad if I gave it.
You were about to start some shit. That's what I was about to say. I was like, wait a minute. You were about to get me going over here. It can't be bad. My bad. Go on with listen. Write the word out and make it plain.
You feel me? You know what? I got you. But getting introduced to these characters, for one, the opening scene, the opening scene genuinely pissed me off because of how realistic it was. Not like the robbery and everything, but it was just the fact that the black woman took the fall for some shit that she had nothing to do with, just because I knew that nigga name, just because I know him. Like,
exactly.
Like that's so crazy. Like, imagine getting fired from your job because it got robbed because you know the name of the nigga that did it because he lived down the street. That's just
yeah. And honestly, it's not it's not unheard of. She was expendable, right?
Very.
And so the scene that we're speaking about in question, if you have not yet seen the film, shame on you. Everybody needs to see this film. It's an amazing film. The scene that we're talking about in question is indeed the opening scene. What I want to point out about what makes this opening scene so great is it sets us up perfectly for not only the world that we are in, but also the tone for the rest of the movie, right?
Right.
We know, because when it was being promoted with trailers and things, we know that eventually these women are going to end up robbing a bank somehow. And so we drop right into that, but the perspective is different, right? So Vivica Fox, who famously plays Frankie, this is when Vivica Fox was in the pocket, right? Vivica at one time was the quintessential black female in, major pictures for quite a while. So this was like, right at the rise of that, I think maybe a little bit before Independence Day and things like that. And what she brought to Frankie, I think people really, really love, because Frankie got screwed over at her job. We all can relate to that, right? We all can relate to working under people or being one of the few, if not the only black person in a space. And when something happens, you get expended. Let's put it that way. And yeah, it really set the tone, because it was like, yo, what the hell, bro? And the way that they handled her, there was no way she could have gotten, because she tried to be honest, right? She was like, she was talking to the detectives, I guess. And they were asking her about, what happened or whatever.
Did you know the perpetrator?
I've just known Darnell from around the way is all. We live in the same projects.
What's the procedure when you're being robbed?
Look, sir, I am
Stop,
aware that
stop,
I'm
stop,
aware that I did.
Now.
And then a part of me when I was growing, I was like, why would she even tell them? But if she hadn't told them, she still would have been.
I low-key thought, like, why would you even tell them niggas that? I wouldn't even say that, just off the off chance that they found out, take that opportunity to like make it seem like, oh, so you was probably in on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even gonna take the chance with the police. I'm black. Exactly. You're not gonna, like, no, I'm not doing this.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think they set it up perfectly, though, because shout out to F. Gary Gray, by the way. who directed the film. He is one of the more quiet yet profound or prolific, there you go, directors in the Black Hollywood, if you will, because he's very quiet about the things that he does, but he's done a lot of amazing work. Everything from Friday to, I think he did one of the Men in Black films, and I think he also, that year that they had the ensemble, so it was like Mary J. Blige and Dr. Dre and all those people at the Super Bowl or whatever. I think he even directed that, right? But he's doing this very smart. So my bad, BK. What they're doing is they're setting us up to care about the women in the film. So continue on, if you will.
Yeah,
My bad.
I like each character. All four of the characters got their own segments. Like everybody was able to get their own segment that allowed you to get enough on what they got going on just to be able to, start to feel for them. It's like, okay, now I care about you. You know what I'm saying? Now, like, for one, you are the main character, so I am going to be stuck with you for about an hour and a half or so. But also now it's like, okay, I have a reason to root for you when you about to go do the shit that you about to go do.
Yeah. You have to do that. That's the smartest thing this movie does, because you'll find that nowadays films get rushed through, or there maybe is like a montage at the beginning of something that's supposed to say. Or the one thing I hate the most in a film, which doesn't happen here, but one thing I hate the most in a film is you'll see like a bit of a montage. Let's say there's a character getting dressed in the morning, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll do something, this very unnatural thing, and they'll put their clothes on, they'll go in the mirror, put their lipstick on, or whatever they're doing, and they'll take a pause, and they'll be like, and there's a picture on the mirror. Oh, mother, it's been 3 years since you were gone, right? And they that's their way of letting you know this person doesn't have a mother. Nobody talks like that. Nobody does that, right?
I've not seen that technique done in minutes. Yeah.
It's a cheap thing to do. It's a very cheap plot point. You finally graduated? Like, nobody does that shit, man, yo. So this movie gives every main character their time on screen for us to care about them. So with Frankie, it was her losing her job and, being thrown out just because she happened to be 10 degrees separated from somebody, because all niggas know each other, right?
Right.
Who else was there? I can't remember the order that it goes in, but I think next was Jada Pinkett's character.
Yeah, then you had the next person was Stoney and her brother. That shit, I don't know which one pissed me off the most between those two. Yeah, never mind. It was Stoney's. Stoney's pissed me off the most, and obviously rightfully so, because she dealing with that creepy ass old man.
Yeah.
And then all for her brother just to lose his life over some dumb shit. And then to make it worse, the cop that got Frankie fired from her job is part of the same team that shot Stoney's brother. And I mean, they shot that nigga down. Right. Like, there was no need. That was so excessive, but also realistic, because that is exactly what they would do in that situation.
Unfortunately realistic.
And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, bro, we're not even 20 minutes into this, and I'm just looking at my girl like, what are we doing? What, like, genuinely, what? And then the only thing that I got going on in my mind at that point is, please tell me that this is a happy ending, because I swear to God, I'm already tired. I'm not even halfway through the list. You know what I'm saying? And I've already expressed this to you that most of these movies that I've checked through so far, they got terrible endings. And I mean, when I say terrible endings, I mean like bad endings for the characters. Like, oh, this nigga dies, or or this person loses everything right before they're just about to make it, or this person everybody loses their life. I'm like, there's not a single. Can niggas just grow old, please? Can we get somebody growing old, chilling? And so,
not in this story.
I know.
Well,
I see.
Almost not.
Because then you had oh my God. And then she ripped up the check. I don't know why she did that. I would have still took the money. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That part. So Jada Pinkett's character, she's, first of all, I want to know, because you and I know that you grew up on the TP plays, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you remember, because one thing that he does a lot, Tyler Perry, as we're speaking of, is he references a lot of Black films in his dialogue in his films and plays, right? And so one thing that he did, and I want to know if you picked up on it when you heard it, was in Madea Goes to Jail, the play, the character in the play, there's a guy named Nate, right? And so the girl, she's cheating on her husband, all that stuff. And when they're in jail, she ends up calling her husband the wrong name of the guy she was cheating with. His name was Nate. And so she says to her husband, "I'm in a bind, Nate." Did you pick up on that?
I did not pick up on that because it's been years since I've said. I know every part of that play.
Yeah, it's a small part. So he got it from Set It Off.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
Some other time.
Because, yeah,
it's been years since I've watched any Tyler Perry thing. I might go through them, actually.
Good for you. Good for you. It's one of those things where the movie does sort of ride that line of, okay, this is a lot of trauma. Mm-hmm. What's on the other side of this, right?
Yeah.
And I normally feel that way about some things, but with this one, not so much, because the story ends up getting to be so good, right, throughout, that I accepted what was happening to lead us up to the reasoning that for Black women who typically, statistically speaking, for Black women would never come together to do something like this, to go on a bank robbing spree or, killing people, right? But you had to create something enough to care about these characters and root for them. You had to create something. And I think they gave everyone a good thing. So with Kimberly Elise, hers was
her baby.
She was a single mother, right? And she, didn't have anyone to look after her child. Child ends up, getting into something he shouldn't. And then it becomes a thing. Here's CPS involved, taking a child. That's all she's living for. It's a whole thing. So you end up, she was the hardest one to come around to the idea, because the reason people love Frankie so much, the character Frankie was with the shits from jump. They fired me. I know some stuff. Like, yo, Frankie, to me, Frankie was more with the shits than Cleo was. Because if you recall, when they finally do get to a point, wait a minute, before we get to the point where they finally set it off at the bank. See what I did there? Before we get to the point where they set it off at the bank, what was Cleo's reasoning? I can't remember. Why did Cleo just wanted some money, right?
No, well, it wasn't really just the fact that she was broke, but it was also she really needed that bread. Not really needed it, but it's I just lost my job. You know what I'm saying? Niggas just got fired, but that's mainly because she wasn't going to work. Mm-hmm. She didn't have, she was really just broke.
I think, no, wait. I think her thing was she was tired of the lifestyle because her main issue was the boss,
right.
Luther.
She wanted a better lifestyle for herself.
Hey, that was her storyline. So Luther in the movie, Luther, that man could cuss, bruh. That's some good old cussing right there. I hated Luther, bruh. Said magnifique. That cussing was amazing. When we finally get to the point where they convince every girl has had their thing happening. They all are friends in one way or the other. And they start to come up with the idea of like, well, we're going to have to, come up out of this. You need money for your brother for school, for college, right? You need money for your child to be able to afford childcare. I'm out of work and I need the money. And Cleo just want to be living it up. So everybody kind of, comes around to it. But it was Frankie, back to that. It was Frankie who was the one to be like, look, we came in this bank. We might as well get with it. And she set it off.
This bank, okay? We case downtown Federal.
They're all pretty much the same.
I ain't feeling this, Frankie. This ain't right.
Okay.
So once we got to that point where they finally start to rob that bank, BK, talk to me. Where was your mind at that point?
The first robbery was at that point in the game, I was just hoping that everything was going well. Everything just went well. I didn't want no fuck ups. I didn't want no mistakes. I didn't want anybody to leave a breadcrumb. You know what I'm saying? That would give the police something to be able to sniff up and have a trail on them. I didn't want nothing. I just wanted everybody to just be cool, careful, and just do their job. And throughout the film, it was going great. It was great. And then we had a better safety net. Like they had an actual safety net when it came to their robberies, because once that police chief started finally realizing, wait a minute, Frankie and both Frankie and Stoney, they know each other, and they might actually be the ones who are going around robbing all of these banks. His boss let him know, yo, your team just got us all under fire and put under investigation because y'all shot down an innocent boy in the street. So you're going to leave these people alone. No, don't touch these folks. Don't go over there fucking with them folks no more. Right. You already got us under fire. I'm not going to do this again. Not with you. You already under strike. Don't sit your ass down somewhere. We had a nice safe. We was cool. So throughout the film, I was just chilling. But there was also that part in the back of my mind that was like, I know this is not going to last long. I know this ain't going to last long.
One thing that I want to point out, and I want to know if you caught on to this too. And I don't think I paid attention to as much when I was younger watching this as much as I did when I was older. But it could have just been an intentional casting choice, right? But there are a couple of hidden gems in the film as far as the cast goes, right? So we have people appearing like Anna Maria Horsford and like Ella Joyce, who have been in the game for so long. Ella Joyce playing a detective as well, and then Anna Maria Horsford playing a CPS. What do they call them? Are they agents or officers? What are they?
Yeah. I like it.
I don't know what their title is, but worker, okay?
Right.
CPS worker. And even with Luther and so on, did you notice that a lot of the people in these positions of power, then we have, Blair Underwood we'll talk about later, but we have a lot of people who are in positions of power, meaning they are authority figures who are either black or black women. Did you catch on to that?
Yeah.
When it comes down to So with there being a black female detective involved, right? And that shooting of the young man happening, you have to know that there is some level of relatability. So they didn't ever make these other black characters be so out of touch that they are coons, if you will. There was never that. But you could tell that it was almost intentional because she could relate to what was happening on the level where she's working with her partner, yes, and she has a job to do, but she knows the people in the community, right? She knows the things. And then with the CPS worker being a black woman, right? You didn't hate the CPS worker as much as you would if it was somebody who couldn't relate to the woman that she was speaking to. Because even though she was speaking to Kimberly Elise's character directly and sternly and saying, we take it, basically, you got to get your shit together. We taking your child. You going to figure it out, right?
Right.
Normally, you'd be like, oh, I hate this bitch. But it was the way she was saying it and delivering it to her. She was like, look, I get it. Let me do my job, and this is what you got to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think by having black people in certain areas, you kind of got, the only one we really did hate was Luther.
Watching the movie, I would say out of everybody, I was able to sympathize with, I would say, TeaRon the most, or at least not the most, but the easiest, simply because, like, I grew up with a single mom. So, and it's very easy for me to sympathize with women in that situation.
Yeah.
So that entire time, I just feel so bad because she was she was the most innocent out of all four of them.
The most innocent. And shout out to Kimberly Elise. Most people nowadays know her for playing in Diary of a Mad Black Woman, but she is somebody who should be in so many more things because she's such a brilliant actress. Yeah, I think that all of the women had these storylines, these separate things that built up, on the front end of the movie. We had to get to the point where we cared about each character. And so by giving them all these different scenarios for why they would be motivated or why they would be pushed to the limit of justifying, yeah, hell yeah, let's go and rob a bank because our lives are shit. Right? And the movie did a good job of giving us 4 separate reasonings. And there's a shot, by the way, where the women, the camera's panning from left to right and each woman is there. Mm-hmm. And it's them, you see all of their separate personalities. I think it's when they're at the gun range, not the gun range, but the underground gun range. Yeah. And the camera's panning and you see, like you said, the most innocent one. She's not even shooting. She's just like, oh no. And then when they finally get to Cleo got 2 of them things.
Yeah, 2
of them things. And it's a brilliant shot because just in that shot alone, if they started the movie right there, you would know whose character was doing what and why, right?
Right.
You would understand. And so I think that was a good one. Here's where things get a little iffy storyline wise, because you gotta hate somebody other than Luther. You gotta kind of go back and forth with these women, right? So the push and pull with Kimberly Elise's character, even though she's the most innocent, she was the one that when they finally got to the point that they were about to go into the bank, she was like, I don't think I could do this. At that point, the viewer, is like, y'all there, come on. Right? Because everybody don't like somebody that backs out. So there was that.
Right.
And then we get to Jada Pinkett's character. What's her character's name again?
Stoney.
Her having almost this romantic storyline in the midst of this with Mr. Blair Underwood. Okay. Yeah. Blair Underwood, who was the guy, chocolate smooth brother, doing the soap operas and the things, right? She, growing up watching it, and even now, I'm like, yo, chill. Like, why is you even getting off track with this man? Thoughts with the storyline of her almost fall. Well, she did fall for him, falling for the man that works at the bank of all people, and when she was supposed to be casing the joint. Come on now. But
even with that,
Uh-huh.
I feel like it was that romantic aspect, that romantic world.
Uh-huh.
That was literally just a well-deserved break from her reality.
That part. I'm
That's
glad you
why-
said that. I'm glad you said that.
Like, that's why I like that's because even in my mind, watching the film, I had those thoughts too. Like, why is you messing with this man? We got things to do. Like, come on, lock in, because you niggas will die. Like, it's not even about going to jail. Like, it's death. And it's death. You know what I'm saying? And so, but then, like, you take in all of the context. It was like dealing with shitty men. Her brother just died. She's taking care of, mind you, she's even though you my younger sibling, I'm still the parental figure between the two of us.
Exactly.
Taking care of you. I'm paying the bills. I'm paying for your school at this dead end job. And now you add on top of that, you add on top of the fact that we're all now robbing banks, dealing with some crazy ass shit. Like, we are robbing banks.
Yeah.
I can accept why they still had that romantic thing going on, because she had a lot on her plate.
She needed it.
She did need it.
Did they have a hookup?
Yeah, they did. When, like I said, that body oil.
She needed that. She needed that. Bless her heart.
Because he was feeding her fruit and everything. Like, it
Ain't
was
that sweet?
And it wasn't even just like the sex scene. It was it was the world he was opening her up to.
Exactly. Taking her to the fancy galas and things like this. Like, yeah. You could tell that it was just the slightest nice guy that showed up at a time that unfortunately was the terribly wrong time for her. But I think she got out of it what was needed as far as that character goes. But before we go further into that, let's talk about Miss Cleo.
I say, don't give me any bank money. If you come out that right hand clip, my God is going in your mouth. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, let's go through plan B.
Plan B? Man, fuck this planning shit. Why can't we just get buck with these motherfuckers and go up in there and take all the fucking money?
Played by the legendary, one of a kind, Queen Latifah, a person who, let me say this, and I want to be clear when I say this. I hate when y'all, this is probably you too, BK, so I don't know yet, but I hate when y'all talk about, there's always a conversation now and then that comes up online or just in conversation with people. They talk about who are some of the greatest rappers turned actors. And they will talk about the Will Smiths, and they'll talk about the, who else? I don't know, LL Cool J. They'll bring up a bunch of lists of rappers, right? Who, are doing their thing. And they conveniently leave out the fact that Queen Latifah can do everything. Yeah,
she started out as a rapper too.
I'm like, why y'all don't ever put her in that conversation when y'all Tupac was doing this and they name a bunch of people. Queen Latifah's in that conversation, bruh. If we're talking rappers turned actors, it'd be Will Smith, Queen Latifah. In my opinion. So, when it comes to this character, Cleo, so just for a timeline point, this would have been right when Living Single was on television and was, well into its first season, maybe second season, I'm not sure. But Living Single was happening in real time when the filming would happen for Set It Off, right? So this would be Queen Latifah going into her foray of becoming this dominant, person in Hollywood and film. And she did it with such brilliance, but also let's address the big thing in the room. Playing a lesbian character at this time to that degree was unheard of. If you did see a lesbian character, it was very subtle. It was, hinted at kind of thing. And Set It Off, there was no question. There was no question about it. The cornrows straight back. Queen Latifah was doing her thing. Thoughts on the Cleo of it all?
I loved her character. Honestly, I love all four of them individually in their own different way. I love all, but Cleo just had that energy, of course. And it was well needed. It was, everybody had their own separate personality, like archetypes.
Yeah.
And brought something different to the table. And she rocked every scene. It was hilarious, but it was good.
You need a Cleo on your team if you're going to do this kind of thing.
She kept pissing me off at some points, though.
Because of the greed, right?
The greed,
this happens in every bank heist movie. Either everybody gets a little greedy and starts to turn on each other, or there's that one person that's like, oh, we can get a little more out of this.
Yeah,
I can get a little more. She was being frivolous with the money. And then also she lost the plot. That's what got me with Cleo. They were doing fine for what it is. They were doing fine, but Cleo was the first one to lose the plot when she stopped going to work.
Right.
I was like, come on. I see why she stopped going to work.
I see why, but we gotta look like, we have to make things look natural, normal, like nothing has changed, nothing's going on. But you over here spending all your money on new rims and all types of hydraulics on your car when you just had a beater last Tuesday, like nobody, and then you decided to quit your job, bro. You're doing too much. And then when she pointed a gun at Stoney, at that point I was like, okay, now we're done.
Now you're really doing too much.
You really,
and that's when you start to see the sort of the fallout, in a way between them. But I thought that the decision to make the character openly LGBT was a huge step at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And as forward as they were with it, none of them made a big fuss about it so that it distracted from the role.
Yeah, it didn't. It flowed naturally because
it was.
That's just what it is.
Yeah, and so her sexuality had nothing to do with what was happening. It was just the character, and then you end up caring about the character so much that sometimes you kind of even forget. Like, oh wait, yeah, she did have a girl. Okay, moving along, we get to a point where and this is just us fast forwarding. Again, this movie's been out a long time. Most people have seen it. If you have not seen it, come on now. But fast forwarding, we get to a point where things really start to go wrong or get hectic. Okay, so the fallouts between them are happening. They want to go for another run and get a bit more money and be done. Things don't go according to plan. The police are catching up with them, right? But one thing that happens throughout as these pieces start to crumble is even when certain characters start to piece it together and find out stuff, Blair Underwood's character specifically, what's his name? Keith, right?
Yeah.
He pretty much, saw the camera footage. He saw who it was and what it was. And he pretty much was like, okay, and let it slide. In that moment, so the detectives get together and they're showing the bank, the tapes and all this shit and, putting them on notice and whatever they were doing. And he's seen her on the footage. In that moment, he could have been like, oh, but let me tell you something about a black brother holding down a sister.
That I genuinely, because I thought for a second I thought he was actually going to say something, but a part of me knew that, like, a good portion of me knew, like, he's not. I know it. Brother, you went through all of this. You went through all of this with her. You confessed all of your, like, you damn near got on one knee and it's only been 3 weeks.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't expect you to say anything, especially after all the bullshit that the rest of this movie done put me through. There's no way that y'all are going to have him snitch on her. Don't do this to me. And they didn't. Thank God.
Thank God. Thank God. So we get to a point where the final bank robbery happens and the police chases happen.
Before we even get to the chase, the dumbest shit, I don't care. The dumbest shit when the police chief and his lieutenant, you know, the light-skinned lady, when they pull up on them, mind you, it's a 3v1. It's a 3v1. You two motherfuckers got pistols. We got Uzis. Okay? You feel me? Then, not only that, police chief come out. He's talking about, I think he yelled out one of their names. That's why they stopped.
Was it Frankie? I think it was Frankie because he knew her.
Yeah, Frankie. Yeah, because he knew her. Yeah. So it was Frankie. He's like, Frankie, stop.
Stoney! Don't do this!
Put the gun down! Put it down!
Don't do this! Cleo? No!
Fuck you!
Why are we taking off our masks?
Exactly. Even in the midst of the thing, because Frankie who?
Literally, like, I'm thinking in my mind, like, if we're still safe. We're still safe. We still have alibis. We're still okay. So who is Frankie? Who? I put that deep voice on so they can't. Oh, Frankie. Who's Frankie? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking? Like, why was the first thing not even to respond, but it was just Frankie.
Exactly.
Why?
I don't know. I see your point, but it was definitely for the plot because you needed that moment to, you know, that climactic like thing where it was like, okay. And then also as the viewer, when you're watching it and they're taking the mask off, you are saying, why would you do that? Why would you, right? You're getting to that point.
I honestly, it would have made more sense and honestly would have been more digestible if like one of the police officers was wrestling with either Frankie or any of the characters or any of the other characters, and the mask flies off, and as she's about to pick it, and as one of them are about to pick it up to put it back on, it's like, oh, so it was you, Frankie. You know what I'm saying?
So it was you.
So something along those lines.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. Like, I don't know, because you're watching it, right? And it's like, I wouldn't have gave in at that point. Like, yo,
literally, I wouldn't have gave in.
The shit's already hitting the fan. Like, we're not gonna go out like that.
Exactly. I would have actually just started shooting.
You might as well.
You literally might as well.
But, and I think that also was to speak to the point that the officer, I forget that white guy's name. He used to be in a lot of stuff. But the officer, he was trying to appeal to the fact that he was like, you know, I kind of know what you're going through, Frankie, because of what happened. And I'm, you know, sorry about, he was trying to empathize with them. There you go. And then he also said something to, what's the other girl? What's Jada Pinkett's character?
Stoney.
Yeah, he said something to her and he was like, I know your brother's gone and I'm sorry about, you know, all this stuff, right? So he was trying to do that number, psychology.
Look,
but I would have been like, yeah, my brother's gone. I have nothing to lose.
Like,
I
I've got nothing. You took my only, you know, the only thing I got now is my homies.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
The only thing I got now is my homies, and we're all in this right now together. So with that being said, since you just brought up my brother, say hi to him for me. I'm not doing.
Now
I'm
that you
not
mentioned it.
Now that you mentioned that, actually, now that you reminded me about what both of y'all, because both of y'all were there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in that same scene, because that's when things really take the turn, that is when, of all people, the rent-a-cop decides he wants to hop up and start blasting in the middle of the thing. What were your thoughts when this scene played out? Because I remember seeing this, and of course, the feeling that they want you to have is what you have. The movie is very intentional about, we want you to feel like this in this moment, and we want to take you down this path. So that's why they made us care about the people in the way that we did. And of course, the one person that, again, is the most innocent of the bunch,
It's the first to go.
The first to go. And that, when that happened, you're like, no, what the fuck? Right? You go ahead. Just tell me where you were with it. Because I was like, I was feeling like Cleo was. Like, hold up, wait up. That was, Cleo would have been the right answer. But go ahead.
Look at my face, T.
Let me see.
I done cried. I done cried every last tear I could about that. I did.
And then there's that song in the Set It Off soundtrack. Speaking of soundtracks, the early 90s soundtracks still mattered on the movies, right?
Yes.
So that one song comes on, and it became viral on TikTok again. That day after day. But no. Again, amazing song. What?
I was just hurt.
You felt it, right?
It's just hurt after hurt. I'm like, yo, this is not.
You felt it. And even the scene, one thing that I loathe about films when someone is dying, right? Mm-hmm. Is there's this always a moment where they give like a speech about, make sure you check in the attic. I left something for you. And and they have time to get all their work, and they always cough, right? This was a more realistic, honestly, the deaths in this movie were a little too real, right? But this was a more realistic kind of thing where she was in that backseat talking to her, trying to keep her, alert. I don't know what their plan was, if they were trying to just make it to a hospital or what. I don't know what their plan was in that moment. I don't even think they knew. They were just winging it, right? Mm-hmm. But then the camera just gradually tightens up on Jada Pinkett, and you just see her down there, and she just is not doing anything anymore.
Yeah.
That shit, I said, even now, to this day, I'm like, that brilliantly shot, brilliantly acted, but damn, did they pull on the heartstrings, bro. So we go from that death, and then we go into
separation,
which I think that was always a part of their plan, right? To kind of get what you got and go, right? Okay, the big one everyone talks about, the death of Cleo.
When the music started, the tears fell.
You was crying, BK?
I cried. I did. But it was it wasn't like, oh, I was sobbing, but it was more so like my eyes were so.
Sure. Your eyes was watering? Your ducks?
No. Let me explain. I wasn't sobbing, boo-hoo, crying, but it was one of them things. It was like I was so locked into the film that I couldn't take my eyes off of it. So you just see them pouring down, like just pouring down my face. And
I wish I could have seen that.
But I'm pissed.
Yeah.
And in this moment, I'm pissed because I seen this clip I've seen this scene so many times
Out
because
of
it's all been
context.
clipped. Yeah, it's out of context. But then as I'm recognizing, I'm starting to recognize certain scenes as she's driving down the street. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then the music
because it was
starts.
the music, the sound. People don't understand the score in the soundtrack are so important because it really lends itself to the scene even more. One thing I can say is Cleo wasn't no bitch. Okay, but she had to make a decision because she knew that if they all weren't going to get away, somebody had to get away, and she had to get them on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So she knew she wasn't coming out of it
diversion.
anyway. But did you know that because of how excellent that scene was for what it was, right? Of course, it's a sad thing, right? But because that scene was so brilliant and it really drove the emotions home. Do you know that is the reason that Queen Latifah now has it written in her contracts that the films that she appears in henceforth from that point, she can't die anymore. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
That's a real thing. You could look it up. Queen Latifah refuses because she said, "Oh no, I died too good. Oh no, let's not do that again." So since to this day, you have not seen Queen Latifah die in a movie again. So if you're watching a film and you get caught up in it, don't worry.
Yeah,
She's not gonna die.
Now, I think that kind of just ruined the experience. Any further projects from her now.
But she's also not in a lot of stuff that you would expect her to die in. However,
Yeah.
I do think that it showed its head a couple of times. So I don't know if you ever saw the film Bessie about the career of Bessie Smith with her and Monique in it. Put it on the list if you haven't.
I was gonna say another one to put on the list because I'm gonna add it.
Go ahead and put it on the list. But it's a more recent, but it's a great film. But in that movie, we know because Bessie Smith was it's a what they call a biopic, right? So we know that Bessie Smith dies, and in real life, Bessie Smith died in a car accident, right? And the movie though stops right before that. They get in the car, they are leaving to go, and the movie's done. And I was like, oh, I think that's Queen Latifah's contract happening here. Because there was because we know what happens in real life, but you don't see it. You don't see it, is my point. So I think it was her contract coming into play.
Yeah, that makes sense. That would make sense.
So then after that was the death of Frankie. What did you think about that one? I'm gonna tell you the truth. When I watch it, every time I watch it, I wish it goes this way. I wished that when she got close enough and she had the gun to bro, she should have just went ahead and did it.
Thank you, T. Because I swear that was the first thing that came to my head.
She should have just went ahead and did it.
She should have did it.
Because they didn't even.
She should have did it. Because it's either I go to jail for life, which I'm not doing, or they gonna shoot me, which they are going to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It is what it is, bro.
And it was like it piled on so much, right? That when we see the last one standing, she's on that bus and for some reason the bus was not in any hurry to get through this is my biggest issue with the thing, okay? The traffic was not trying to disperse from being at the end of the street. And in my mind also is this. Would it have been protocol for them to start shooting towards the direction of where there was traffic here, if she was running that way. I've always thought that. I've always wondered about that. Like, would they have just had to kind of let her go a little bit?
There was a lot of
because
traffic.
there was in it, like there was people, traffic was in the street passing this way, and she was going toward it. So would they have really been opening fire like that, or would they have had to like
realistically?
Wait? Yeah,
yes.
so I'm wondering.
Realistically, yes, but yeah, realistically, they probably couldn't. But at the same time, this is exactly why this specific police department in this movie is always underfunded anyway.
They would have done it anyway, right?
They would have done it. This is why they was in that shit show at the beginning of this movie, but shooting a little boy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So, and honestly, now that you bring it back to that, it's a bit brilliant because it's like, wait a minute, this is LAPD situation. This is, you know.
She just put a gun to this white cop's head.
Yeah, they kind of set the tone that, yeah, this police force is going to do some stuff that they probably shouldn't be doing. So maybe my argument now the argument that I had, you probably voided it out.
But I swear.
So let's tie it up here. So he sees her. He makes eye contact with her essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And he lets her go. What do you think that was? White guilt.
That was the guilt of everything that he has done, because he knows full well that the only reason why Frankie is here doing this months later we've met back up. We're here again. The only reason why we're here is I got you fired. You would not be robbing banks if I didn't get you fired. I played a very massive role in making you lose your job and
then being present for the killing of
your best friend's brother.
Yeah.
I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I am the entire reason why you guys are even out here. You know what I'm saying? Especially looking at Stoney, like, I killed your brother. I'm not gonna do that. Like, just go.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm done. I'm done with it. Just go.
So we know how it ends. She ends up making it to Mexico, wherever she was, and she's the only one that got away.
Only one that got away.
My question to you is: would you have done anything differently when it came to the way things ended? Would you have changed anything? I think the movie is close to perfect on how it delivers the story, how it makes you care about the characters, and how it takes you through the emotions of how it, takes out those same characters that you end up caring about. I think everything was done exceptionally. And just, as it is, people even nowadays contemplate, how could there be a follow-up, a sequel to this thing? Vivica Fox was asked this recently in an interview.
And she literally said, stop asking. We all did.
We did. What are we talking about?
One of my mutuals on TikTok, she actually has a pretty big following. She came up with a whole premise and an entire script. Not really like a written script, but she came up with a whole plot for
what a sequel could be.
For a sequel. And it actually all makes sense. It sounds really good. Like, I'm talking about like patent it before a nigga steals it type. Really good. Like, it all makes sense. It would work. It doesn't seem too far-fetched off. It doesn't seem like it's just an excuse to bring back an old beloved franchise for a cash grab. Like, it actually it's good.
Right.
It's really good. They could if they wanted to, but
as the film is, would you have changed anything, or was it?
The only thing I would have changed is the way we get our identities revealed and our masks removed. That's genuine.
That scene.
If we're going to keep it all, if we're going to keep if we're going to keep it all the same to maintain the effects that the movie is supposed to give to the audience, then yeah, sure. Let everybody die the way that they do. But the way that our identities get revealed, switch that. Like, I'm not, that was bullshit. Like, genuinely complete bullshit. There was no reason why anybody should have taken off their masks willingly.
Yeah.
Just because a nigga called your name. Who? Hey, Frankie, who? Who's that?
Who you talking about?
Like, it was genuinely, like, frustrating to me. It was so frustrating. Like, I would say that has been, going through this list, that has been one of the most frustrating moments I've watched out of all of these films. Just, why are y'all taking off y'all masks?
But I think, see, that's the thing. I think that it did what it made you feel like it was on purpose. They wanted you to be at that point saying, why would you do that? And you did that.
Right. And I get that. But if you're going to do it, make it make sense. No, because that was dumb. That it wasn't even a good, why would you do that? It was dumb. It was just all around, overall, just dumb.
Yeah. My question for you is, what would you rate Set It Off? Does it stand the test of time? Did it hold up to the hype as you finally got to sit down and watch it as an adult and you heard about it for all these years? And Set It Off is still has a huge fandom, and it's a cult classic. It was a hit when it happened, and it, still maintains its strength in the culture, I think. Yeah, because people are still talking about it. Like you said, people are making up ideas for sequels and stuff. Like, people still want more of this. I think, even if I'm not mistaken, I believe that, if I could be wrong, I believe that Vivica Fox produced a stage production of it. And they actually did like a small tour, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look that up. I'm going to verify that, because I think Debrat played Cleo.
Okay.
But I think it was like a musical. Yeah. I don't know what they would have been singing. I could be wrong about the musical. I'm sorry. I could be just making up the musical part. I could be just making that up. But it was like a stage production, because I remember seeing a clip some years back of like the car on stage or whatever. I don't know if it's, but whatever. But yeah, it's like it has a whole other life. Okay. My question for you is, what would you rate the film as it stands now that you've gotten to experience it?
I think, for one, me just having waterfalls of tears flowing down my face while my eyes locked onto the screen, that is a testament to just, that says enough. That I definitely do think the film still holds to this day, because of all the practical effects, the plot, the characters, the storyline. And it's just, the movie is very effective on making you feel, period. You know what I'm saying? It's just very effective on making you feel. There's not a lot of movies where it's like you actually really are so invested that you genuinely just want to see these characters ride off into the sunset and just get a happy ending. It's like, like nowadays, sometimes I feel like I'm just watching a movie just to get to the end.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's pretty good. It was pretty cool. But this one was like, I really am invested. I'm just wishing for the best. Obviously, my wishes ain't come true, but I'm just wishing for the best. I'm hoping for the best. And so, yeah, I do think the movie does hold up still to this day. It's still an amazing movie. I still stand by my ranking on the Blacklist of a 9 out of 10, like a solid just 9 out of 10, not even no 8.9 or 9.1. It's just solid 9. It's a solid 9. I like it. And the only thing that's keeping it from that 10, now that I'm thinking about it, is that dumbass scene. I'm sorry. That's the only thing keeping it from a 10 in my book, is that dumbass scene. You so petty.
You so petty. You so petty.
I'm telling you,
Wait now, because see,
if
I want to
the
see.
mask
I want to
got
see if you
wrestled
can give it.
off,
Wait. Let me try. Let me just try to see if I can get you to go ahead and tin it off. Okay. If indeed the goal of the scene is to get you riled up to the point that you're confused as to why the characters are responding in that manner, enough for you. So what they're doing is they're getting you over here. This is busy work. You're like, oh, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And then in comes this character who starts blasting, kills one of the main characters, and then you're taken from and that emotion, like it does what it's supposed to do. It keeps you busy enough that when the thing happens, you're shocked. And so since you're feeling it, because it came out of nowhere, because you're busy yelling about why you taking off your mask and trying to negotiate with these people, right? You don't expect for this turn to happen, but because it happens at the same time, it's like, it's like when a car gets T-boned, right? You like, so in that sense, the scene is effective in what it was designed to do, because if it was any different, the impact of the character being killed in that same very moment would not have the same effect. For that reason, because you know how you felt when you saw it happen, right? For that reason, could you not just tin it off? That's my argument. That's my argument. That's my argument.
And I get what you talk about. And I get what you're talking about. It's just, for me, it's one of the things was like, I wanted it to make sense. I just wanted it to make sense. Because realistically, you not taking your fucking mask off. I'm not taking my damn mask off. I don't give a fuck if you called out my entire government name, address, social security number, nigga. Who is that? What identity? What character?
I tried, y'all. I tried.
I
tried, y'all.
Like if the masks got wrestled off, or it just lost in the scuffle, and we just had to just say fuck it, fuck the masks, book it, and then go, I give you that. But T, I'm telling you,
you so
if I had to run.
I'm not gonna do that either. But, but I'm just saying within the context of the scene.
Yeah.
You're
I still can't.
I tried, y'all.
I'm still pissed.
See,
so I can't.
I tried, y'all, but this ain't my list. Okay. This ain't my list. This ain't my experience. This ain't my journey. BK. This without a shadow of a doubt, it's just basically us introducing the idea of revisiting classic films. Now we'll decide here and there if we're going to spend as much time as we did on Set It Off on other things. Maybe we'll just touch on some stuff here and there, but we do invite you all along with us. Let's try to come up with a way to share the list with people so that they can access said list, and that way they know what's coming up next in your journey. We'll figure out all the nuances of it, but I'm excited to see what else comes down the line for us revisiting these classic Black films. And BK, I would say it's only up from here, but there are some movies that are not as good as Set It Off. So
I'm not expecting like that, and I figured that. I'm not expecting,
but gems nonetheless.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be gems. I'm just not expecting, because, like I said, there's not too many movies that I've gone through so far that are actual like 9s out of 10 or above that. So I'm not expecting that. Like that's not the standard. Like I'm expecting at the bar is like 7. The bar is like 7 out of 10. Like that's for if a movie is about to be at least decent. You know, I'm not really expecting anything to be 9s off the rip. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? I just want to go through the classics, and I want to fill in these gaps of the culture. That's it. That's all.
Well, we're definitely gonna do that, and I'm looking forward to the whole thing. I must say, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent. Why not?
There's definitely gonna be some ugly, because I swear.
We gotta find some gems, man. We gotta find some gems. Trust me. Listen,
a lot of man, I'm trying to prepare my heart and my mind.
It will be fine.
Yeah.
It will be fine. Let the people know what they can expect from the Blacklist, and then where they can find you, all the things.
So what you can expect from the Blacklist is literally just a whole bunch of classics. All the stuff like Eve's Bayou, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Roll Bounce.
Bounce, Roll Bounce, y'all.
Yeah, I got that Roll Bounce in there. I'm just going through the classics. I'm going through, and because obviously I don't know all of the classics or all the things that I should be watching. So I leave the list open for anybody to just be like, yeah, make sure you check this one out, and make sure if you go watch
a recommendation.
Love the recommendations. I need them. Rely on them. Actually, I rely on the recommendations. But everybody says I should take Belly off the list. I don't.
Should you? We're not. No. I'm saying we're not gonna get into it now.
But y'all can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and actually those are the only social media I use. TikTok and Instagram. BK goes stupid, Well,
now they can find you here on the YouTube channel as well.
Yes, now we are a part of this. I love it.
So we got some things going. If you've been watching this long, if you're watching, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't already, you probably should have done that a while ago. But if you're hearing this now, go ahead and do it. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and also share it. Share it to somebody who would enjoy this discussion. And we invite you to join us on this journey of revisiting some classic Black films from around the diaspora. As always, I'm TeaRon. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok. Listen, everything's in the description, show notes, okay? Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, all the things. We're everywhere. You can find us, all the things, okay? Am I missing anything?
No, I think you hit it all.
I think I hit it all. In the meantime, in between time, bye-bye. Ciao. Peace out. Say bye, BK.
I put up the little.
That'll do.